The Nikki Clarke Show, transforming lives one story at a time. If you would like to be a guest or become a part of our live studio audience or even to become a sponsor, just go to www.NikkiClarkeNetwork.com.
All right, welcome back. We just had an awesome off-camera dance-off, so thanks for everyone who participated in that. And I'd like you to meet a wonderful person. She actually shares the same astrological sign as mine, and she is the founder of Fit Your Style, and she's a media personality. She wears many hats wonderfully. Please put your hands together for Jennifer Ettinger. Welcome, welcome. And thank you so much for taking the time out to spend some time with us today. I know you're very busy.
This is great. I love the energy. So thank you for having me.
Thank you. No, you're more than welcome. So Fit Your Style. When did you get started in that? That was a few years ago.
Started it in 2003, actually, when my daughter was born.
Okay.
I didn't want to go back to work. I wanted an entrepreneurial life where I could stay at home and work around her needs. And I went to the Fashion Institute of Technology. I had been bedridden before in my life. I was a chronic dieter. Fitness was not something I ever thought of. And fitness changed my life once I was bedridden. I found my path, I found my way.
You had chronic fatigue syndrome,
That's
is that right?
And fibromyalgia. So Fit Your Style comes from studying at FIT. My undergrad was in fashion styling, fitness. So it encompassed everything that I believed in and that changed my life personally.
Okay.
And I wanted to encompass that for other people and help them with their challenges.
Fantastic. Now you're in your
I'm cozy.
Your cozy wear, exercise wear, because you are a certified trainer.
Yes,
so
I am.
This is something you do passionately, regularly, and I know you have some really cool clients. But tell me, staying fit now during the holidays can be quite the challenge. And I know 85% of staying fit has to do with nutrition.
Yes.
So we are faced now with holiday eating and holiday drinking. So what are some ways we can navigate through the buffet?
That's right. We got to get through that buffet table.
We got to get through the buffet table.
Something else, right? Lions and tigers and bears, oh my, but they're appetizers and pies, oh my. So what you want to do is, first of all, where do most people congregate? At the table or at the bar. So you want to reframe your thinking, get away from those hubs, because what happens, we're talking, we're relaxed, we're having fun. We just start to get that serotonin going. We start to pile on more onto our plate.
Okay.
We don't even realize that we're overeating or over drinking.
Right.
So the key is to step away, find another place for conversation. Pick a small appetizer plate, even if they offer dinner plates, because psychologically you're going to put less on that plate.
Okay.
A couple of other things too is holding your drink in your non-dominant hand makes it awkward.
So if you're right-handed, stick to your lefty?
Yes.
Okay.
And it's awkward. It's not as easy and fluid to drink.
All right.
If you are going to drink, you're going to have 2 glasses of water for every drink that you have, because there's tons of sugar, so you're going to crash from that, right? So you want to alternate as much as you can. Keep your hands busy, whether you're holding an evening bag in one hand. You want to make it where it's a little bit awkward if you are someone who doesn't have a lot of control when in front of a buffet or the bar.
Okay. And say to avoid drinking, you could, make yourself the designated driver, so you have that responsibility, and I have to stay away from the booze that night.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And you could do a fun flavored water with berries, which is great for your body anyway.
All right.
I always tell people, people come out in January like Noah's Ark. and choose, panicking. They overdid it. So just reframe your thinking now, and small baby steps for change, right?
Okay. And how do we keep our livers clean because of all the sugars and the alcohol that we may consume?
That you brought that up to me. I thought that was fabulous. So it's very simple in the morning. Your lemon and your water, that stimulates the...
That's easy.
That's so simple.
Okay.
It's inexpensive, stimulates the liver. Asparagus is a diuretic, so if you do need to get some off. Green tea raises metabolism by 30% and is loaded in antioxidants if you need to rev up a little bit.
Okay.
Apples have pectin, which help the digestive system to release some of that extra food, and also helps your liver. So very simple, affordable ways to take care of your body if you overindulged.
Awesome. And where can people find you, Jennifer, if they want more fitness tips, or if they want to be, they want to work out with you one day?
Yes, fityourstyle.com.
Yeah.
Twitter is Fit Your Style, Instagram is Fit Your Style, and Jennifer Ettinger, public figure on Facebook.
Fantastic. Jennifer, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for your pearls of wisdom.
Thank you.
And I wish you the very best
Thank you.
for 2015. I feel really good about 2015. What do you think?
Yeah.
It's going to be a good year for everybody. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
We'll be right back. Some more good stuff. Don't go anywhere.
The Nikki Clarke Show, transforming lives one story at a time. If you would like to be a guest or become a part of our live studio audience or even to become a sponsor, just go to www.NikkiClarkeNetwork.com.
All right, welcome back. Sitting in the hot seat with me now is the founder of Nature Nova, the ultimate tall tale teller. Mr. John Trifo is here.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Oh, you're very welcome. And this is the second time that you've been on the show.
think so,
you're
yes.
second timer.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, yeah, before I ask anything else, what do you have in your
I got
hands
some
there? Looks like
children's art.
some children's art. Now, how did
And-
you go about getting that?
I used to take children, actually sometimes I still do, out on nature hikes. And tell you the truth, I have enough of these to feel like a small warehouse. I just bought a few. And I'm just going to focus on there. Some of them are really cool. You have to go from side A to side B. The picture tells a story, and the story tells a story. And I discovered children are amazing storytellers. Some
Sure
of
are.
them are better than me.
Where'd you get the pictures?
I used to work at nature centers. I got a lot of these for schools, outdoor day camps and outdoor week sleepover camps. Oh, from Saskatchewan to Alberta to even Manitoba, and right to here. I used to live in all these provinces west of us, and this is what I've been doing most of my life, is sharing wildlife discovery and experiences with children of all ages. And this type of art comes from very small children, most magical young humans you can imagine. Take them out on nature hikes and you introduce them to wild animals, sometimes not so wild, and you give them an adventure. And what I've discovered is the adventure comes back to me. And I know you're going to ask how I got started with this. I like to take all the credit for myself. But I really did take an interest in nature a long, long time ago when I was a child. And I saw many great things that people to this day will not believe, which is cool. I had a science teacher in grade 7, I think, took me on a great outdoor adventure. And this man kind of turned his back on me and didn't notice that I'd slip away. And I had a day's worth of incredible adventures all by myself. I got in lots of trouble, almost got killed, found my way back after getting lost, but I brought a whole bunch of cool things that I found. And this science teacher, he took all my stuff, and he thought it was incredible that I found this stuff, and he put them in his science room. They stayed there for years and years and years. Teachers are profoundly magnificent in the upbringing of children. I know this from experience. So what I received in such a way, I've been able to give back in such a way. To this day, I hear from behind me, from beside me, here and there, out and about, "Oh, Mr. Trifo." It's very awkward. Nobody calls me Mr. Trifo. But I hear that. I turn around and it'll be a tall, strapping, not so young person. And they remember me when they were this age. It's just the most magical thing. So what I've been doing is I've been building a website. I've been revisiting the past. I've been finding all these things. I'm going to try to scan as many as I can.
They're in pretty good condition.
Yeah, these are treasures. These are treasures. When I'm gone, what's going to happen to these? You know, I want to scan
Like a
them.
time capsule.
Yes, digitally archive them,
Yeah.
and show the world what children think of nature. Not only do the pictures tell the story, but there's stories. Sometimes it's just a picture. A picture's worth 1,000 words. They're all magical experiences, but they're on biodegradable paper. So I'm going to try to digitally archive these, and I'm going to post as many as I can on my brand new website, naturenova.ca. Please give me a visit.
Definitely. You want to give a shout out to some very special children that you have here in the audience?
Yeah, two very special children. in the audience. I'm going to start crying if I start talking about them. Jolise, my eldest daughter, and Kyla, my youngest daughter. Stand up and wave high. These two kids are like night and day, totally different from each other. One is a nature enthusiast, one is a fashion enthusiast.
Oh.
And, you know, it just goes on and on. One's too hot, one's too cold. One's hungry, one's, you know, overstuffed. You know, it's just totally, their hair is different, everything is different about them, which is amazing. Because, you look at my amazing wife.
Your wife, Lizzie Tree.
Lizzie
Tree. Radio personality, TV personality.
And we just made this magic somehow. We won't talk about getting busy. But this is the most amazing thing. And now I can share some of my experience. I have all these daddy stories. I've been telling the kids. When I didn't have my own kids, I've been, you know, sharing daddy stories without being a daddy. You know, it's like adopting everybody's kid for a small little amount of time. And I've been doing that. I've been with thousands and thousands of kids, literally, across many provinces. And we've been thousands and thousands of miles together, out in parks, sometimes in wilderness. And we've had thousands and thousands of adventures and experiences. And that's where it's at. That's really where it's at. Visit me, naturenova.ca. Send me an email. Let's explore the world together. Nature is just the ultimate experience. So that's my invitation to all of you. naturenova.ca.
Fantastic. Before we go, John, can you tell us the most memorable, you know, scenario that you had in the wildlife when you were photographing something?
There are many of them. This is perhaps the ultimate, but it's grand. It's very grand. To narrow it down to one sort of event.
Yeah, like an animal encounter.
I can pick one, and a quick one really. I was photographing in Regina, Saskatchewan, in a park right inside the city. I found a nesting pair of great horned owls, and they were fantastic. And I've been following them for a few months, and I lost track of them for a bit, and then I went back and started getting pictures of them, and I found an owl sitting in a tree, and I had, you know, maybe three, just back in the Kodachrome slide film days, right? I had two, maybe three shots I left in my camera, so I was very judicious about it. And I took a picture, and then I went to crank my camera, and I noticed something different. I had to change the setting, and I looked, and the owl kind of flew away, and I went around, so I followed this owl. And I went looking. I got only two pictures left, right? I got to find it. It's going to be in great light because the sun was shining through. And I looked. I said, wow, it just made this disappearing act, which is kind of normal for owls. And I kind of turned, oh, wow. And then I said, oh, the owl. Nowhere near where I thought it would be. I said, wow. So I got my camera. Back in the old days, I had to crank the focus like that. None of that fancy autofocus stuff. And I started focusing, and just as I took the picture, I focused, grabbed the shot, I started to kind of realize something very different. And then I sensed this kind of like a shadow. It's like a growing, what kind of like a shadow. And it all came together like a flash. It's like, I'm in big trouble. And what happened was, I followed the female adult around the bend. She disappeared. And she did a double loop, which is typical. And I noticed the baby, which looks like an adult. When young birds are able to fly, they cannot grow anymore. They just kind of. This one looked superficially like an adult, and I was so busy trying to get the shot. I didn't realize I was photographing a young bird. And I clicked, and when it all came together, I realized that the mummy did not like me being there at all. And these owls are strong enough to actually penetrate a human skull, which is almost impossible. It never really happens. There's two records in history that we know of. But they can scratch your scalp, they can make you bleed, they can hurt you very bad when they're angry. They're very, very powerful. They're about as powerful as some eagles. And she came down from behind me, and I knew exactly what was going to happen. It was top of my head. It was right there, and that's what she's going to hit. So what I did was, I used to carry my camera on a gun, which I got SWAT called 3 times. Another story, I peed my pants once. Don't carry anything that looks like a gun, trust me, never. And I wrapped it around, I was focusing, and my trigger's out here. And when I realized I was in trouble, I grabbed my gun and I held it. I slammed it down on my neck, and I pushed myself down to the ground. My nose was in the dirt. It was like, pow! And I just held it on. You just feel the breeze. You just feel that, ah! That's, I think, what that owl actually did was, ah! I missed.
Sense of frustration.
That was a pretty big moment in my life.
I'm glad you missed that.
I've learned a lot about respecting wildlife on that moment.
At that moment, all right. Well, thank you so much for being here and sharing your stories.
Thank you very much.
And we look forward to following you on naturenova.ca.
Yes.
Okay, you got it. All right, make some noise for Mr. John Trippo.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
The Nikki Clarke Show, transforming lives one story at a time. If you would like to be a guest or become a part of our live studio audience or even to become a sponsor, just go to www.NikkiClarkeNetwork.com.
All right, welcome back. Sitting beside me is internationally known astrologer. She is a gifted intuitive, and she's the founder of Astro Coach. Please welcome Alina Trellis here. You are full of insight, and I really value your wisdom. And I'd like to ask you a little bit about how you got into being an intuitive, or getting into Astro Coach as a business?
Well, everything started like a long time ago when I was very young. But like most of us in the same business, we weren't allowed or encouraged to do that. So me, like many others, I went studying, getting married, having children, everything, kind of pushed that on a back burner till one day, that's why I'm a professional astrologer, by the way, till one day under the major life transition and circumstances in my life, literally when the thing were boiling to the point of explosion and total like state of havery and stuff, I've discovered that like I've been called back to kind of get back into my business, change my own life first, and then help others to do the very same thing. So basically, crumbling under pressure, the kind of diamond kind of erupted from the rock bottom,
Gotcha.
I would say. So basically, that's how my thing came back.
Okay.
And that's why I specialize today. I'm specializing in helping people through transitions and transformations, because there is so many people out there that simply lost, or they're going through so much, and whether they're unable to express it, or they just don't feel like talking about it, they're too shy, or maybe some people feel shame or guilt or all kinds of stuff. This is where my work, my intuition, my gift, divine gift comes to play. So it's not only about prediction and telling people anybody can predict something, by fluke or by chance or by talent.
Yes.
But it's more than that. It's more guiding people to that destination rather than just telling them, oh yes, you're going to marry tomorrow, you're going to live happily ever after.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest. We have to focus on today. Who really knows what's going to happen in 10 years? There is no psychic in the world that simply knows the answer to that question.
Okay, that's a really good point that you brought up. So you're helping people to become unstuck in either work or a relationship, and guiding them through, which is really important. So you're like a life coach as well.
Yes, I call myself a spiritual advisor actually, and I do specialize in spiritual coaching. So I want to be just clear on that. I don't do really business coaching. I have lots of lovely colleagues of mine that they do certain, that's not my expertise really, but all, based on their readings. And yes, I do my spiritual coaching too, like till a point, but there is more thing coming up for me, like I'm developing some new techniques, based on their readings.
No, I expressed earlier that I feel that 2015 is really a shift for not only myself personally, but for many of the people that I know. I noticed that they're going through a lot of transitions. It's like they had to be broken down in order to be rebuilt. Is there something going on astrologically that is affecting everyone on a personal level?
Well, that's a great point, Nikki. Actually, you put it quite, beautifully. For the past 2.5 years, roughly, we were all experiencing one of the major transition in the heavens. Planet Saturn was transiting through constellation of Scorpio. And for the past 2.5 years, and I'm sure many of you can relate to it, was all about getting down, like what really bothers you truly. What is that truly is in your heart that you need to release, to let go of? Because Scorpio is a very introverted sign, because they kind of deal internally with everything.
How many Scorpios out there?
How many Scorpios here? They don't want to say.
They don't want to say.
But they're known as a healer of the zodiac. So on the one side, they hold it in very tightly to their resentment and anger. So basically what's happening for many of us, many people kind of got this kind of epiphany. Wow, I left my oppressive job. I finally finished with abusive relationship. Or hey, I'm not friends with the fake people anymore. How many of you kind of gone through for the past 2.5 years? That's exactly what is this all about. But many other, of course, global thing happened that we don't want to get into. It is too depressive. I know, so I'm not going to depress you. But good news is, just very quickly, for 2015, amongst the many other things, Saturn actually changes into merging into a sign of Sagittarius. Ooh. So that's a very important update. Very quickly, people that are born in sign of Sag, Gemini, Virgo, and Pisces will have an opportunity for another almost 3 years to literally go through and get serious, whatever it is that you guys want to do. Whether it's, you have the goal that you really, for years you've been so shy, hiding in everything behind the curtains, you don't want to step out, but you have this idea, you have this, passion, desires. Now is the time to work hard on it, I'm not saying it's going to be easy, going to get tough before it gets better, going to get tough, but you know what, at least it will give us a chance to all of us globally to really, get together what really truly matters, especially spirituality part. Saturn is all about restrictions and hard work, and Sagittarius is all about religion, politics, spirituality. So two of them combined properly, we can create truly a safe environment for all of us. Unfortunately, many people use it for the bad things, so that's totally another story. But guys, as long as you take the control, you have to get truly grip on your own life, Whatever doesn't serve you, whatever doesn't resonates with your higher self.
Elevates you. Yeah.
Elevates, Maybe it's really time to rethink. Why do I need to rebrand, revamp? So that's exactly, we stepping into together consciously as a global into this new era, what is it we got to do?
Yeah.
How to help each other to be more spiritual, how to use the spirituality to help each other. You see, this is what I do. I use my divine gifts. Yes, it is my business, but that's not the whole point. The whole point is to help others to do the very same. My clients are all from healers, from other psychics or people that are in similar business, coaches, to people that they work simple jobs or people that they work some really important jobs. Any walk of life come to see me. But the one thing that everybody walks out of from my session is one thing. They all I help them embrace the true path, because that's my true gift. I see the divine purpose that is inside of you. And that's my true gift of Psyche. I can see the purpose. Maybe I cannot tell you exactly in 10 years what's going to happen, but I do tell you one thing, that I see the gift that you have, and that's my job, to help you embrace it, therefore use it to benefit you.
Yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful.
In a nutshell.
In a nutshell. And you've done a reading on me, and really fantastic predictions. Like what you said, I'm thinking in the back, oh, whoa, that came through. And the thing about you is that whatever you say, it comes from a genuine place. I know it comes from your heart, and that translates well. And I really appreciate that ability for you to communicate with people that way. Now, intuition is something that we're all born with, do you think?
Yes.
But some people are a little bit more sensitive, is that right?
Yes. So basically this is how it works. We are all, given those gifts. But guys, you have to remember, I always tell people one thing, there is no really mystery here. God gave us a free will. Now, if you choose to believe that this power are not allowed to us, we are not allowed to have them because, the boogeyman on TV said that's not good for us, that's not true. God gave us all free will. So you have a right to choose. You want to improve your life, you want to listen to your heart, you want to listen to your ambition, you want to work on yourself, on your intuition. Basically, the same principle applies everywhere. So yes, we're all born with these gifts, divine gifts, absolutely. Some people just takes time maybe to get attuned with that. Some people are too scared, or because of dogma going on TV, how other people take advantage of you during those kind of readings and stuff. People that are, oh my God, that's a scam. They charged me $1,000. They said I have a devil living in my house. Oh, please, come on. You guys can't listen to that. I refuse to listen to that. So you know what? Yes, you have to. If you're gonna go to somebody, it has to be from a place of heart. But this is when your intuition comes to play. You have to kind of listen to the little voice, And those voices are all from the divine energy. You can guys call it anything you want, but it's all connected to one source, God. So
awesome.
Make no mistake.
Okay, awesome. Now we have a question from Donna. Can you stand?
I started a business from the ground up. What does 2015 bring? What do you think?
So, sorry, sweetie, you were born in sign of Aquarius?
Yes, I'm Aquarius.
And what year?
Oh my God.
If you don't mind, sorry.
68. I'm fabulous. So that's
What? This my... Wow.
I know.
This girl's gorgeous.
She's looking good.
Question, you started the business after end of summer, right?
It started getting better by the end of summer, yes.
Okay, but when did you officially start? Beginning of this
2
year?
years ago.
2 years ago. Okay, well, there you go. You said, what did we say since end of 2012, since November officially, many people that, certain things that we started, I have to have your full thing to tell you exactly details, but I tell you this, it's been a lot so rocky, up and down for the 2 years. I feel that you had some good times, but this was the year more you were focused on money part. But you know what, I think that you changed few approaches already. But now what you have to do, there is a few things you have to implement in your business. You still lack, maybe few some direction is needed there. But you know what, one thing I have to tell you, don't give up, because now the ruler of your sign, planet Uranus, is going direct right now. So now everything that you were working and saving and worrying, the things you're gonna just wake up and like a power dynamo. So you have next 3-4 months to work hard on your stuff and do careful planning as well,
That's some great news. All right, I'm going to ask you one. I didn't prep you for this, but
okay, done.
do you see me in a wedding gown anytime soon? I have to know this. I've been patient. Oh, tell me later then.
Well, I tell you what, Nikki, you see, you're such a, I do see you, but the thing is this, you're such a strong woman and you're doing something, at the moment you're fulfilling some divine purpose. And I have to tell you one thing, and let's be honest here, even if the gentleman will show up now, you're so busy and preoccupied that you might even miss out the opportunity. So my advice to you is to a little bit relax, slow down. Next 3 months you should, because you are Sag like me, and Jupiter is at the moment retrograde, which is the ruler of Sag. So now is the time maybe to take the vacation, to go out with some friends,
go to Trinidad,
meet few prospect guys, and that's what you have to do. Because yes, I do see, I told you a million times before, but you're too busy. How are you gonna get any suitors when you're too busy?
Okay, I gotta slow down. I'm like a hummingbird, right? All over the place. It's a pleasure. Thank you so much, Irina. Isn't she awesome?
Thank you, guys.
Where can people find you?
Well, guys, my website is astrocoach.ca, and you can also find me through Nikki, through her Facebook and page. I do lots of business on Facebook. Don't ask how, but yes, I do.
It works for me.
Yes, so basically astrocoach.ca, just a simple website, but you can reach out to me. I'm based in Toronto, Bathurst and Shepherd area, and I do lots of Skypes. Oh, very important, I'm very proud. Can I mention only one more thing? Me and 2 good friends of mine have a group called SIG Social Events, and we do basically every few months at the Spoke Club, we do singles mingle events. So it's a great opportunity if you want to meet some quality people and also to network. So it's not oppressive, it's definitely very casual, but everybody usually dress up. And so next event's coming on the 13th of February.
Ooh, Valentine's Day. All right, I'll be there.
I'll be there. You are a special guest.
Okay.
I get you the ticket. You coming.
You got it.
Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure. Thank you. We'll be right back. It's more good stuff.
The Nikki Clarke Show, transforming lives one story at a time. If you would like to be a guest or become a part of our live studio audience or even to become a sponsor, just go to www.NikkiClarkeNetwork.com.
So Nikki, I understand that it's not only your Christmas show, but it's also your birthday, right?
It's my birthday.
That's right. So if you don't mind, I wouldn't mind dedicating my Christmas song to you today.
I would love that.
Okay, is that cool? Hey Nikki, I made this song, and I hope you'll understand. Sometimes I feel like a vagabond, 'cause this year there was no way to buy you things. All that I can give to you is what I've got to sing. Hey Nikki, do you know it's Christmas? I'm supposed to give some store my business, but this song holds my love. Hey Nikki, isn't it ridiculous? I shouldn't need a reason, any season, to send my love to you. Yeah, to you. Oh, to you. Yeah, to you. Hey Nikki, I feel cold outside, but the love in me is hand to freeze. It keeps me alive and here. I didn't write about what's wrong, so give me time to hear me rhyme. I'll give you my song. Hey Nikki, do you know it's Christmas? I'm supposed to give some store my business, but this song holds my love. Hey Nikki, isn't it ridiculous? I shouldn't need a reason, any season, to send my love to you. Yeah, to you. Oh, to you. Yeah, to you. I would like to ask the audience in this part of the song to think about what you could give that money couldn't buy. What might you give Nikki that comes from your heart? Do I have any volunteers in the audience who might want to share their thoughts today? Yes, ma'am. What would you give for Christmas?
I would give you loyalty and friendship.
Beautiful. Loyalty and friendship. Thank you. Anyone else? Yes, ma'am. I'll come to the back. Go ahead.
Love and support.
Love and support. Beautiful things. Beautiful things. Anyone else? Yes, ma'am.
A hug every day.
A hug every day. Wow. Can I have that? Anyone else? Yes, ma'am.
Peace and joy.
Peace and joy. Beautiful things to give. One more? Two more. Yes, ma'am.
Happiness for the new year.
Happiness for the new year. Beautiful. Beautiful wish. Yes, ma'am. One more?
I would give for the back that beautiful the way she is.
Wow. That is so nice.
You know, I could really feel the love in the room. Thank you, everyone. And so it goes to show that you can give something from your heart, right?
Hey, Nikki, do you know it's Christmas? I'm supposed to give some store my business, but this song holds my love. Hey, Nikki,
The Nikki Clarke Show, transforming lives one story at a time. If you would like to be a guest or become a part of our live studio audience or even to become a sponsor, just go to www.NikkiClarkeNetwork.com.
Okay, sitting beside me is singer-songwriter. You just saw a stellar performance by him. This is Dinus Rayner. Welcome him to the stage. Wow, you've got quite the resume, I must say, and the thing that stands out for me is that you were commissioned to write the official anthem for the Green Party. So that's pretty big.
Yeah, that's right. That was really fun to do in year 2000, Y2K. That was the federal election, and it's a very hopeful song. Doesn't actually say Green Party in the song, but it is about environment and a hopeful future.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was a pleasure to write, actually.
That's amazing. So how long have you been involved in music now?
Wow, you could say around 30 years. If you count the first time my parents gave me a little guitar. So I've always been active, been in and out of the business a little bit over the years, but right now I'm at full tilt.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And you call yourself the man of song. So how do you develop what you do? What kind of things are you involved in with your music?
Good question. Well, the man of song is actually, Dinus is a Latvian name, and actually it means man of song.
Okay.
So incredible coincidence, thanks Mom. And the thing that I started up this year is, you notice the interactive part in the song. I've been doing that more and more, and getting people's opinions on all sorts of things that people might think about or would like to think about. And I've actually entered doing this for organizations too. So I'm doing a little bit of team building with that idea too, where I play a song, has a certain subject, and then into the audience I go and ask people what they think on a certain topic. For example, change. So maybe an organization is worried about change management. I'm going to get all white collar here for a second. I have a song called People Are Afraid of Change, for example, and into the audience I go and I might ask, why might you be afraid of change, or why might other people be afraid of change? And everyone has very interesting responses and opinions and thoughts on the matter, and I sort of guide the way the conversation goes and then finish the song. That's kind of how it rolls.
I think it's really interesting the way you use the dynamics of engaging the audience with your song. It's kind of like you're a music facilitator in a way, so yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's a lot of fun, and then I get to meet people. Most entertainment is like passive one-way experience. This way it's like okay, everyone can maybe be a little more part of the performance.
Okay. And where can people find you, Dinus?
At Dinus.com. It's a weirdly spelled word, D-Y-N-I-S-S. And the Christmas song actually has its own website, and I've got 1,000 names like Nikki there for free for people to send, and it's called ChristmasDedication.com.
Okay. All right, so if people want to use their names and create their own Christmas song, they can do that?
Well, the idea is actually, if you wanted to send to someone, say their name is Mary,
gotcha.
You could grab a Mary, type your message, and send Mary a song with her name in it.
I think that's a great idea. You're going to try it? Fantastic. All right, thank you so much. And come back anytime. Maybe you have an Easter song that you can...
Easter song? I could work on one.
All right, we'll do that. All right, we'll be right back.
The Nikki Clarke Show, transforming lives one story at a time. If you would like to be a guest or become a part of our live studio audience or even to become a sponsor, just go to www.NikkiClarkeNetwork.com.
Okay, our next guest is an author. She is a registered nurse. She's a motivational speaker, and she is the author of Young Lives on the Line. You Can Make a Difference. Please welcome Norma Nicholson to the show. Thank you, Norma, for being here.
You're most welcome.
Yeah, thank you. You look lovely.
Thank you.
I like the I like the print on the dress that you're wearing.
You can have it for your birthday.
Yes. I was hoping for that. We met at a really amazing function not too long ago. It was for Trillium Place, the
Yes.
foundation, a fundraising event, and we connected right away, and I'm really grateful for that.
Yes.
And you shared something with me that I really would like to kind of share with everyone else, if that's okay.
That is okay.
You mentioned that you had a little bit of a kind of challenge as a youth. Can you talk about that?
I'll be happy to talk about my past only because I have now gone past it.
Of course.
And it's behind me. I was homeless as a 6-month-old. I was left on a sidewalk. And then I was again homeless at age 17. So one can just imagine when you have not had a family, one of the things that is looked at is that you would become a youth at risk, and I'll explain later what that means. But I had mentors and coaches, and I call them angels, that came alongside me and has helped me to become a very productive adult.
Fantastic. So that spiraled your life into working with youth, and,
Yes.
and your passion is working with at-risk youth. So can you identify what is considered or whom is considered at risk?
Well, society labels our kids, I'll just call them kids, I'm thinking of children between the age of 12 and 17. Society labels them the way they talk, the way they dress, the way they carry themselves, and that's how the terminology came about at risk. At risk could be a child that is homeless, that lives in poverty, that does not have much education, that comes from a dysfunctional family where parents do not know how to seek help, or believe it, there are parents that are alcoholics and addictions of many kinds, and then they're not able to provide proper care for their children, so they become at risk. They do not feel belonging. They get themselves in trouble. They join in with gangs, and they don't see themselves as being part of society.
So they're missing security,
Yes, and
affiliation,
love.
and love. Right. Okay. Now you have put together a book. Let's talk about that. Young Lives on the Line. You can make a difference. How long did it take you to put this together?
Well, part of my background is that being a nurse for over 40 years, I also worked in a variety of healthcare facilities, and I decided, looking at my past, that when an opportunity came about to work with youth, I applied and I managed healthcare for over 5,000 at-risk youth at the Roy McMurtry Youth Center in Brampton. Most folks do not know that this is the largest jail we have in Canada for most of our children between the age of 12 and 17.
So you call it a jail?
Yes. Well, it's youth custody, but it is a jail. You can't just walk and go any place if you're not monitored or someone walks alongside you. Okay. So having worked there and seen over 5,000 children and looking at my life, and then I wondered, how is it that I did not get into any problems with the justice system? Why is it we have today 192 youth living at the Roy McMurtry Youth Center, and they could have been not enter that facility at all because no one came alongside them to mentor and coach them. So then I started making little notes in my journal, and when I retired, I decided I would like to go out and give back. I would like to write this book to provide education and awareness, to partner with others in the community so that we can put different lens on and look at our children in a different way. In that way, they can use their strength as opposed to their weakness, and then they could become productive. Yeah, we have children who go to school. I'll give you an example. The child is hyperactive and walk around the classroom, and the teacher says, "Sit down, Johnny, sit down." And Johnny is not able to sit because he has hyperactivity. They call him a bad child, but he is not a bad child. The behavior, someone does not understand that. So after a while, Johnny does not want to go to school because the teacher is always saying, sit down, and he cannot sit. So eventually he doesn't learn and he becomes at risk, because then his parents may not have the skills to go to the schools and say, this is the accommodation I would like for my child.
Okay, and he becomes a statistic.
Yes.
Okay. And then unfortunately gets lost in the system. And
Yes.
I've seen it happen as an educator too. There are many students who are undiagnosed. And if you know, a little bit expert as you are, and how I've learned a lot about exceptional children, I could pick it up right away if a child has a learning disability, and but so many are not diagnosed. So that is really a shame. How can parents be advocates for their children?
Well,
in the system?
We're a country of many immigrants, and I find sometimes new people to Canada, they isolate themselves. So one of the things they can do is join a church, go get their children in a youth group. There are many community organizations that they can become a part of. It's even good if you have come from, say, Poland or Germany or Jamaica, that you get to know those individuals. They will help you to know the culture,
right,
and to know where to get help for your children. There are many places that are open. Churches are open all the time. Walk into a church, ask some questions, walk into a community center. Don't allow the teachers to make the decisions about your children. Go and visit the school. Every parent can go and make an appointment and ask questions. I find that parents need a lot of help unless they're highly educated.
Right.
Do you know that it is much easier for a child with a mental illness to be in jail and be diagnosed with that mental illness in 72 hours, while a parent in the community could have been waiting for a whole year? Because there's not enough psychiatry. So we need to move all the resources from places like jail to our community to help our children.
To rehabilitate. Yeah.
So for our children to be better, we need to educate ourselves, learn the resources, and listen to our children. There are many parents who they know more than their children in many areas, but not in all areas. Children who have been abused, traumatized, they have not been able to say that to their parents, because parents will say, just no, that could never have happened. Uncle Tom could never have done that. But when they get into jail because of all the anger and everything they've kept inside,
they've internalized.
That's when they're able to talk about it. So that's why children get into gangs, they get into bad company, because no one listens to their pain.
Gotcha.
And you can only hold the pain in for so long before it bursts out of your skin into different behaviors.
Yeah, it manifests in different ways, right? When I was a student teacher, the thing that I never forgot was that when I go out in front line and I'm teaching children from different backgrounds and personalities, the child that acts out the most is usually the one with the unmet emotional needs, and they're the ones that need the most love.
Yes.
And typically you're the one, you want to react with anger and revenge, but you got to hug them a little bit tighter.
Yes.
So that's one thing I learned.
And on the other side of that, those are the parents that are very difficult to get a hold of to come into the school. Because I spoke to a parent last week and talked about an IEP, and that parent had never heard about an IEP. So for those of you that are sitting here and you have children, every child must have an IEP in the school, an individual education plan, or your children can be streamed into areas and you have no input into the discussion.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now you've got an amazing youth conference coming up in April. Let's talk about that quickly.
Because I've gone around and spoken to youth group families, young men, anyone who will listen. By the way, I'll come and speak to your group anytime you want me. I'm retired. So many individuals have asked, could you bring the experts together so we could have a one-day conference where we can invite parents, youth, all the experts in youth justice, and let us learn some more how to access these resources. So the one-day conference will be held at the Living Arts Center in Mississauga, April the 20th, 2015. So you can go online, Young Lives on the Line, and even start purchasing your ticket now, because tickets are available until March break. They will be a bit more expensive. They're $100, but one can imagine that in your swag bag, you will get a book, you will get all kinds of goodies, and you'll be given a meal and all the refreshments for the day, plus network and meet a lot of wonderful people, including Nikki, who will be the MC for the day.
I'm excited about that. It's going to be a lot of fun. That's wonderful. Now, where can people find information about the event, the book?
Because I self-publish, I sell the printed copies myself, so please go on my webpage, or I have some business cards back there, or take my phone number and call me. I can send the book to you. They're $20 each. When you purchase two, they're for $30. Also, if you're living in Mississauga, Peel area, the books are in the library. And when you go on my webpage, www.younglivesontheline.com, you can get information on the conference and also on how to purchase my book. And if you're a real techie, you may go to Kobo or Amazon and download the book on your iPhone or iPad for 99 cents.
Awesome. All right. Norma, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much. And I applaud you for championing at-risk youth.
Yes.
And hopefully we can eradicate at-risk and everyone will be, understood. I think that's what it is at the end of the day.
It's my passion and my dream to give back, because I think I am so blessed and I'm so happy, because how many children have you heard of that has been abandoned when they're 6 months of age and they turn out to be very productive adults?
Yeah.
So I'm giving back and I want to see changes.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Norma. It's been a pleasure. All right. Thank you very much. We'll be back.
The Nikki Clarke Show, transforming lives one story at a time. If you would like to be a guest or become a part of our live studio audience, or even to become a sponsor, just go to www.NikkiClarkeNetwork.com.